Coloradans get tax notices without the right information. Breckenridge now has a second fire to contend with. A house overrun with cats. Denver says the owner isn't hoarding, he's helping. Drivers still think bike lanes belong to them. Boldly going where no woman has gone before in Colorado high school sports. And Stapleton is pretty flush these days. Next. Whether or not was the question in Breckenridge, and weather is exactly what firefighters got to help contain the Peak 2 fire. The cooler temperatures, even some spotty rain this evening. It's a second day now with little growth on that fire. Another fire did start burning southeast of town, but that was handled before it even got to an acre in size. Still, firefighters remain cautious. They're keeping the town of Breckenridge on pre-evacuation status. Colorado's tax collectors need a do-over after sending out thousands of letters demanding people pay up and forgetting to tell them how much they owe. You can see the issue. Our Marshall Zellinger wanted to know how it happened and how much it'll cost taxpayers for that mulligan.
100,000 of you just got this letter in the mail, a notice of deficiency or rejection of refund claim. Basically, you owe the state tax money. But it turns out the letter itself was deficient for taxpayers like Ann, who talked with me on the phone from Denver.
I kept looking through the envelope to see if I had missed some little slip of paper.
When we went to send out these notices, it printed out the first page, but not the second page that was supposed to be attached to that first page.
That second page is the attached payment coupon that was not attached to all of the notices. How many taxpayers in Colorado got incomplete information in the mail?
So it was roughly 9,000.
The Department of Revenue blames a software update. Well, those 9,000 should be getting the missing payment coupons next week in a second mailing. How much does it cost to send out 9,000 additional letters in the mail?
Sure, so it'll be roughly $4,500. Is it okay? No, we always aim to provide, the best possible customer service. We're not perfect. We do have errors sometimes, unfortunately, and we apologize for any inconvenience this causes customers.
When Ann received her deficiency letter, she had to search for a phone number to get answers. Like, how much was she delinquent?
The person who helped me was very nice and was able to look up what amount was. I owed $57.
All that for $57. Yes, now, here's why Ann contacted us. She wanted to stop wasting people's time, and she wanted the employees to stop wasting their time telling people the same thing over and over again. She wants a recording to say, hey, we know we messed up. If you're listening to this, we're going to send you the stuff in a few days. And it sounds like the Department of Revenue is going to do that.
Hoping that by bringing it to our attention, she can save everybody time and hassle, because already there's a lot of hassle involved. All right, Marshall, thank you. Picture a property in Denver just overrun with cats, and picture the city being just fine with it. That's what our Steve Stager found when he followed a tip about cat hoarding up to Sunnyside and discovered a twist.
How's this?
My rake and my shovel.
For a morning routine.
And there's flies on it. So usually when there's flies on it, it means they went to the bathroom in there.
It's been Dylan Zardelli's routine for the last year or so.
I'll come out in my yard every morning when I wake up with my morning coffee. 6 cats will run away.
He blames it on this.
That's a cat house. That's a cat house.
And that is his next door neighbor's house. Dylan says he's counted about 20 different cats, mostly feral, who hang out here. And you can see why. It appears the guy who owns the house set up shelters for them and feeds them often, if not daily. And those cats love to dig up Dylan's yard.
We have no birds. We have no squirrels. We probably have no rats or mice. Those are all benefits of having 20 cats, but I think I'll take a few rats instead of 20 cats, to be honest with you, at this point.
We know what you're asking. Why hasn't he called animal control? Oh, he has. And they talked to the homeowner.
And he had trapped all the cats, brought them in, got them vaccinated, got them spayed and neutered.
And the city says there's nothing illegal about managing a feral cat habitat. In fact, it's almost encouraged.
It's actually beneficial to the neighborhood, because if they're getting those cats vaccinated and spayed and neutered, now the cats don't have the potential to get rabies.
So I own this 2 feet. And as you can see, I had to put the wire because they were digging holes underneath.
So for now, Dylan is doing all he can to keep the cats out.
I don't have a dog yet. I'm working on that. I think if I had a dog, that might solve some of the problem.
And for the record, we reached out to the homeowner. He never called us back. The renters who live in that home, yes, there are renters in that home. They didn't want to talk. And certain counties actually have laws that protect feral cat, these people who manage feral cat colonies In this case, Denver doesn't have a specific law that protects it. Instead, what it is just, it's not in the law. It's not illegal, but it's there.
And they say that he's doing some good. Steve, we sent you out on a cat story. Where were all the cats? I just saw the little structures, little houses.
I'm told they're more active at night, and if I know cats pretty well, they tend to hide.
I don't mean to laugh. I expected a lot more cats in the story.
I got one.
I saw the cat. Yeah, very nice. Thanks, Steve. Just because your plumbing is old doesn't mean it doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about Denver water's infrastructure. What were you talking about? So we got thinking about this with the break of a water main on Wednesday in Lohi. Second break near 29th and Zuni in the last 6 months. That water main is old. It is old. Installed in 1889. So it's actually older than this photo of the same intersection in the late 1890s. There's a guy chilling on a wagon next to an ad for a production about the South before the war. How romantic. Back to the pipes. So you can call Denver Water and you can ask them what kind of ancient system is sitting out in front of your house, but just remember, simply because your plumbing is old doesn't mean it doesn't work anymore. Right now, Denver Water is out there tearing up water mains that were put in the 1960s down in Centennial. The issue there is that those were poorly made. It is Friday. A bunch of you are getting out of town for the weekend, but not before a crucial check. Is the A-line working today? You know it, like a well-oiled machine. RTD is still trying to sort out that dispute with its private partner over whether the A-line's timing issues with crossing gates can be fixed by existing technology. But you can ride with confidence. Shoot us a photo if you do with the hashtag HeyNext. Finding parking downtown can be challenging, or as they say on the TV news, parking is at a premium in Denver. So it's pretty clutch that the city put in new parking on 14th. Just look at all the happy cars sitting there in their happy little spaces. Nope, actually, that is a bike lane. The city added a bike lane to 14th, but the drivers see the space and think, oh, good, I'll just park there. And to that we say bollards. Bollards are those white poles that they put in. They're supposed to separate the driving lane from the bike lane. Denver Public Works says it's added more bollards and more painted symbols, and they are pretty much stumped why drivers can't grasp the situation. Along with everything you have to do this weekend, you can also do good with a stop at the Colorado Freedom Memorial. Nederland has a new football coach, which is newsworthy here because of who she is.
I love out-preparing.
And history being wiped off the map near Aspen. Next. May I make a recommendation? If you don't have plans for tomorrow morning, they would love to see you at the Colorado Freedom Memorial in Aurora. They're throwing a celebration out there to wash away the bitter taste of the apparent vandalism that smashed one of the glass panels. If you have never been out, it is a beautiful little spot tucked in out by Buckley Air Force Base. That series of glass panels with the names of every Coloradan known to have died for this country. Tomorrow morning's gathering is from 8 until noon. The memorial supporters will be out there whipping up breakfast burritos and pork sandwiches. They'd love for you to give a donation in return, and they are hoping to raise enough money to replace that shattered panel. While you're out there, you can tour the memorial. And there's fun to be had as well. You meet the Broncos cheerleaders, the Patriot Guard riders will be out there as well. You can talk to them about their work. It's a collection of good people for a good cause. So I think you'll fit right in. 8 to noon on Saturday.
Finally, some welcome rain for many areas this Friday. I'm meteorologist Kathy Sabin. Outside in Denver right now, it's partly sunny, but we have had a weak weather disturbance across the state that brought in cooler air. Remember yesterday we were 100 degrees, today 88, and a temperature similar to this tomorrow. Showers moving from the northwest to the southeast and even in Summit County. Brief showers up that way. Not a lot of wind and lightning, and we will just take every drop that we can get. Tracking hail-producing thunderstorms out around Colorado Springs and Lyman, all along along a line that will drop south tomorrow. That front separating some cooler air to the north from the hot air across the southwest. And so 20% chance of showers from thunderstorms yet tonight and again tomorrow. And then we turn up the heat again with hot highs back in the 90s for the second half of your weekend and first part of next week. This Friday night, chance for a little rain, thunder, and lightning with our low dropping to 60. Tomorrow we start off with mostly sunny skies. We'll touch 90, 91. Late day shower might be something we'll see before it just gets hot and dry again. 96 on Sunday, 97 on Monday, and only marginally cooler for the middle part of next week. But yeah, those are raindrops on the lens. You can count them, but they're there, Kyle.
Only marginally cooler. I've heard next described that way. Thank you, Kathy. When the football coach at Nederland High barks out an order next season, all the players will shout back, "Yes, ma'am." Beth Buglione is the first female high school football head coach in Colorado history, at least as far as the people who run state athletics know of. We caught up with Coach B this week.
I have a lot to do, yeah. I was actually living in a fifth wheel, traveling around doing my photography. Decided to come to Colorado and was looking for a football job. When I saw Nederland and I looked it up and I'm like, this is a dream location for me. I have a ton of coaching experience, yeah. I got to play football when I was in my 30s. So I got to play for 3. I coached that team for 5. I actually owned the team. We made the Final Four our second year. I've never had any barriers thrown in my way, and if there were, I wasn't aware of it. Playing when you're 35 years old is a little tougher than playing when you're 17. You recover just a little slower, but ice is your friend. We are going to create such an amazing experience for the kids here. I want them to walk away proud of the fact that they played football for this school and that they played football for this town and for their families. So it was a no-brainer to just pack up and come here. We're going to be competitive. We're going to be a team that people have to plan for.
We asked CHASA, the Colorado High School Activities Association, about other trailblazing female coaches in boys sports, and they pointed to the first female basketball coach for a guys team. She coached down in the San Luis Valley in the 1940s because all the male coaches were serving in World War II.
I think just in a time where women were kind of seen instead of heard, she definitely made her voice heard.
That's why Denver still hears her echoes a century later. And I thought public dumping was illegal. Next. They called Molly Brown unsinkable, a reference to surviving the Titanic. But unforgettable is what she has become in the century after her death. This month, the museum in Denver that's dedicated to her life celebrates her 150th birthday and how she used her wealth to help our city's poor.
Yeah, the house was built in 1889 and they moved in 1914.
Well, I think just in a time where women were kind of seen instead of heard, she definitely made her voice heard.
She was able to take the Titanic and use that and turn it into something that affected change across the U.S. and across the world. My name's Andrea Malcolm. I'm the director at the Molly Brown House Museum. Mrs. Brown is a great boss and a role model and great inspiration to us Colorado women, as someone to look up to. And with her 150th birthday, we're able to really celebrate her legacy here in Denver.
Yeah, so I found it quite interesting. My grandma introduced me to the 1960s movie when I was quite young, The Unsinkable Molly Brown, and I kind of fell in love with it and the music, but I didn't realize until, I moved to Denver how amazing a woman she actually was. She was in the newspaper quite a lot with her charities and the fundraising that she did. Yeah, so Margaret lived here. Green was her favorite color, as you can see by the wallpaper. It's not red like the movie in the 1960s portrayed. She's a great portrayal of someone who, didn't constrict herself to the confines of what her sex was supposed to be doing at the time.
It's very well done. I like the way they tell us everything.
We really want our visitors to take away that despite your background, she came from a poor Irish family, that you can have an impact in the world and that you can have a voice for change. I think it's so important with all of the issues that we have today to understand that your voice does matter.
Molly Brown's 150th birthday celebration will be a whole block party on Sunday the 16th outside that museum on Pennsylvania. Aspen's cheapest short-term housing is free, and it's about to be demolished. The U.S. Forest Service says it is unsafe for people to be shacking up in the 6 old mining shacks in the White River National Forest. They do sit near abandoned mines. There has been some pushback against the demolition because of their historical value, so the outlines of the cabin walls will be left in place, so at least those remnants can be visited as a historic site. The most Colorado thing we saw today. It's just a man and his wheel heading down the mountain. It's a guy on a unicycle taking on a mountain bike trail. Jim Medlock sent a photo of the dude that he spotted in the Maxwell Natural area west of Hughes Stadium in Fort Collins. You know this guy is an interesting character. If you know him, we want to meet him. The unicycle man of Fort Collins is the most Colorado thing we saw today.
So, at first I thought Stapleton was finally getting some edgy public art. But no, the art display that looks like a pile of toilets is actually just a pile of toilets outside the Holiday Inn on Quebec. Alex Degman snapped the photo and added the caption, "But why are there so many toilets?" The super helpful lady who answered the phone told me they're remodeling the 5th floor, though she was unsure whether the toilets are on their way in or out, so to speak.
Met a guy on this Good News Friday who said he didn't have any because he had just gotten out of prison. Sounds like good news to us, and that was just the start of his story. That and a sign that we are near the end. Next. It's a sign that we are near the end of the week of this broadcast, and, well, who knows what else. Beth Ritter sent it to us, took the photo north of Highway 138 west of Julesburg on the way to I-80. Beth said, "We aren't sure if this designates the end of Colorado. It's certainly not the end of the road. Maybe the exasperated sigh of frustration on the part of the highway department," she wrote. She said, "We get a chuckle every time we pass it." Let's see your signs marking the end of the road, end of your rope, anything. Email next@9news.com. Get our attention with the hashtag HeyNext. Commons Park in Denver seemed to be an appropriate place to end the week, where we seek common ground with a common question. What's your good news?
My good news is I've been out of prison for a month and I'm enjoying life. I'm getting back into the roll of things.
I just got a job. I'm just here to make my money. I was happy, made my mama proud. I was excited.
You know what? I filled up my scooter today and it cost me $2. That's good news for me, man.
Good news is that coming to Colorado to hang out for at least a month, and it's been a fantastic time.
Well, no bad news is good news. I mean, it's sunny, it's beautiful outside. Breweries are starting to light up and the food trucks are coming along, so that's always exciting this time of year.
Loving Denver, it's great weather, and loving all the people and more friendly drivers than back home.
If I don't have a voice for them, who's going to speak? It's not really about me at the end of the day. It's about who I can help.
Every day I just try to live life to the fullest, you know, never have a bad attitude, and always look forward to everything in life, make everything positive. And that's my good news. Oh, everything, like, my mom's my world. That's like my best friend, you feel me? So I love my mom, whatever I can to make her happy, it makes me happy.
What a way to meet some new people, right? Mary tweets tonight, "Kyle Clark is a weenie, and even my sweet mother doesn't like him." Mary, you and your mom sound darling. Holly called to say that she enjoys the show. You can do that, 303-871-1491. Call me. See you next time.